Everybody, man, I thank you, brother. Let's go to No Limit. Get back to the Eagles fans who are all fired up. Let's go to No Limit. He's not happy. No Limit.
You can hear me?
Set some parameters.
Bro, you can hear. Hold on. Wait. Before you get into the perimeter, can you hear me when I say this?
I can hear you.
Fuck you, Mark Holmes. That's all I'm gonna say. Now go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I love Mark Holmes. Mark Holmes is
I love him too.
Hey,
He's
last
a great
week,
podcast.
No Limit. Last week.
Oh boy, the hate is real. Good morning, good people. Marco's here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business and let's wake up those football gods. Wow. What a week we have had. The Eagles went from first place, the number one seed in the NFL, to the third seed and literally crashing and burning. I don't even know what to say about that. I've been telling you, the Eagles are a powder keg. They've been waiting for something to ignite the wick, the fuse. And I believe these two losses, wow. You know what? Let me not. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to lose a lot of fans, or excuse me, trolls, like the cockroaches that they are. There are the diehard ones like Logan Motorsports and Linda and Philadelphia and Philly D that, you know, win, lose, or draw, you are a true diehard fan that sticks with your team. But I'm betting that I probably won't see my man at BJ's today wearing his Eagles gear. I'm betting I won't see my buddy at Home Depot wearing all his, you know, Eagles gear and Eagles fly when I go in there. I'm betting that some of y'all put your shit away. See, I wear my Cowboy stuff every day. I got a Cowboy shirt or a sweatshirt. Everybody know whether the Cowboys are ass or good, that I'm still reaping the boys. I don't give up. But instead of me trolling the Eagles, I'm just going to let you hear former Eagle players after the game on their post-game show. Let's go to the tape.
I think this thing's getting fixed. We were talking in the pregame program about whether or not Dallas has a shot at the division title, and we agreed probably not. Don't count them out, because next week the Eagles are at Los Angeles to play the 7-4 Chargers. That might be 8-4 because they're playing the Raiders coming up on Sunday. 2 8-4 teams. They lose that one, they're 8-5. I know, Jaws, you like to take one game at a time, but when you look at the remaining 5 games in the schedule, they're going to the playoffs. We know that. But
well, don't be so sure of that.
You don't. Well, you know what? There's a song for that. It's beginning to look a lot like 2023. Everywhere you go. Barrett Brooks, what do you think?
This is just not a good football team. You know, we got beat up front. You know, the undisciplined play. Our trenches, you know, it's about trench warfare. Who's going to be the bigger man? And right now, Chicago, they were the bigger men. They went up there and whooped Art up front. I mean, totally just pushed us around. I mean, in the first half, the first quarter, I haven't seen a team give up 130-something yards in the first quarter. They ran the ball when they wanted. In fact, I'm looking at them like, all right, why are you throwing the ball? All you got to do is just keep running it. They'd have blown us up. So it was crazy. That was ridiculous. The Chicago Bears, 47 rushes, 281 yards. I thought it was 85 Bears out there with Walter Payton and Matsui that they were running through us. It was embarrassing. And, you know, we've always defended Vic Fangio for a long time. That defense was not prepared for what Ben Johnson and the Bears threw at us.
Yeah, what about that offense? How about that, Jason?
Well, it wasn't just that they were able to defeat us with physicality. It was with scheme. They were putting guys in motion. Guys were going back across the line of scrimmage, going opposite of each other. It seemed like the defensive ends didn't know that they were going left or right or whatever. And so it kept them honest the entire game with how many reverses, jet sweeps, so many things that they were doing. It kept them honest. And now there was huge lanes through the middle, and the double teams were working. They didn't have an answer for duo. Duo was 2 double teams. They were doing it pretty much the entire game. And, talk about Monungai knocking guys out. Like, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
Ruben, this is the most rushing yards against the Eagles since when?
Most rushing yards against the Eagles since 1973.
1973.
Wow.
And the most in Philadelphia since 1962. You can't call yourself a championship team and give up almost 300 rushing yards. I don't know what's more disappointing, the defense or the offense. I mean, the offense has been bad all year. We kind of had hope that the defense could carry the team. They certainly didn't today. And I'll tell you what, I think we saw what a real offense looks like. An offense that's efficient and unpredictable and plays creative, inventive, and keeps you off balance. We haven't seen that on this sideline. We saw it on the other one.
Let's take a look at the team comparison today. There really is no
Aren't you loving
comparison
this?
between the Eagles and the Chicago Bears. 24-15, the Birds go down. 85 plays to 51. Look at the first downs. They double the Eagles. The total yards, 425. The rushing yards, you just heard the statistics from Ruben, 281 to 87. The passing yards, the Eagles had them, but the passing trying to keep up. And that was difficult. 2 turnovers. And one of them was right after they had forced a turnover.
The Bears did have a turnover.
The Bears had 1 turnover. The Eagles had forced 1.
Yeah.
I didn't see this coming. I had us scoring 35 points this matchup. I thought we'd win the game going away.
It's just the
I did not
Bears.
see this coming.
It's just the Bears.
So the coaches throughout Nick's tenure here have made the adjustments. I think it's a good staff. I think we have good players. Our defensive line, we've invested in that defensive line, got mauled. I mean, I'm taking notes down. Old school football, power football, bully ball. That's what was going on. We were getting bullied. We got beat up. We got pushed around and took it.
Yeah.
And took it.
you gonna take this shit.
Anger in that defense. Where's some anger for these offensive linemen? I didn't see it.
Right.
You know what it seemed to me like the defense almost sensed that the offense was so hopeless that it seemed like they played like they had given up. And that's a really bad thing to see.
Eagles give it up.
Said the way their offense played, the misdirection,
Oh, yeah.
the way they opened up, it seemed like the Eagles defense was just wide.
Ben Johnson.
Well, it's a masterclass in keeping the defense off balance, right? You're talking about play actions. You're talking about naked. The quarterback is running. Third downs, having guys in different positions. They were able to catch that a few times on the first third down. They were able to put the tight end outside.
I'm going through here and I see something else here that I have to check this out because Big Sills this morning, he's up on a Saturday early. So let's get this one in. I'm sorry. You have to understand, I've been taking this shit for so long.
No bearing on who they're playing against because they're getting killed.
Okay. I feel like you guys are missing the point completely.
Okay.
No, I get what you're saying.
No.
You're
I want
saying
to
that they had
I
a
want to
fucking
miss this
awful
point.
game. I get what
I
you're
want to
saying.
miss this point.
They're going to kill
All
Jalen
right, John,
Phillips
where
here.
are you on this team then, man? They've now lost 2 straight to the Cowboys and the Bears. They've really had 2 awful performances for the better part of 3 quarters last game and then most of the game this game. Where are you on this team? I mean, have they changed, John? I mean, you thought this team was going to beat this team by double digits today. At least that's what you said last week because you just felt like they weren't ready for the spot. Well, they were ready for the spot. Are the Eagles not as good as we thought, John?
Well, they weren't today, that's for certainly.
The Eagles are who we thought they were.
You know, here's why I went defense first, because the offense has been like this the whole year. Like this isn't even, and that's also something Jalen Phillips.
But that's a product of the offense now, John, right? Don't you think that's become a product the last couple games of the offense?
That would be like Chicago won the toss, right? And they took the ball because Ben wanted to manipulate having the wind in the fourth quarter, which was a great decision. Okay.
Did I lose you, John?
before they even had a chance to be pathetic on offense, they were pathetic on defense. So why is there, and that continued for 60 minutes basically. And the only reason it didn't continue is because of the little blip in the second quarter where Ben Johnson went away from the running game and decided, hey, to give Caleb some, I don't know, reps, I guess, throwing the football. That continued, and it was the worst performance of the Vic Fangio era. So, if the worst performance of the Vic Fangio era doesn't deserve criticism, I don't know what does. Because this was the worst defensive performance of the Vic Fangio era, and nothing against DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai because they're good backs. But that's something else that Jalen Phillips told me when he admitted, yeah, we were getting washed out pretty consistently, washed down. He said, we just played Gibbs and Montgomery. And he said, no disrespect to these guys, but they ain't those guys.
Those guys have no room to talk about getting their ass kicked by. Again, this goes down to O-line, John. I mean, those guys are talking like that and saying that those guys were better and they got 281 yards ran down their throat. Wow. That's some balls to sit there and say that. Not you, John.
No.
Those guys saying that like that, that's ridiculous.
Well, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are better than DeAndre Swift and
That's
Colin
not the point. 281 just got put on that team right now.
Well, that is the point. The point is because 281 got put on that team.
So those guys are sitting there in the locker room talking about the other guys in Detroit and how good and how much better they are, and they just got their asses kicked.
I don't think that happened today, right, John? Did that happen just now?
Well, yeah, Jalen Phillips said. I asked him, how difficult it is to deal with a complementary duo like that. One guy who's sort of the speed guy, the lightning, DeAndre Swift, and one guy who's the power guy, who is Monangai. And I said, is that difficult to deal with? And all Jalen said, he didn't say anything bad. He said, we just no disrespect. And he actually said that, no disrespect to these guys, but we just played the best duo in the NFL. So it was more than just, the running backs have a good day. And all due respect to DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, this ain't going to happen again to anybody else. That's kind of my point, guys.
I get it. John, that's still an egregious comment.
How about this, though, Dan? Those guys, get this, if those guys aren't as good as those guys, that's another point. So they're not as good as those guys, but they just ran for 6 yards of carry on them. I mean,
so now you guys are both agreeing with me, which is my point. This was a dismal performance by the defense. It was a dismal performance by the defense, which is the point.
Well, I never disagree with that. I just think it's a crazy thing to say, but you're right. It does make you sound more correct that the defense had a bad day.
Well, why is it a crazy thing to say that Jahmyr Gibbs is better than DeAndre Swift? And that David Montgomery is better than
it really has no bearing on who they're playing against because they're getting killed.
Okay.
I feel like you guys are.
It's safe to say that there's problems in Eagles land right now, that they are definitely hurting. So we're going to take today. Today is going to be a travel day, I guess, for me.
Noticed that they had a one-on-one inside with the safety.
I've got
they would have had
I'm going to be going back to the Red Brick House, and we're going to be next week's going to be a little bit different. For all you guys, you know that I turned 60. I can't believe I'm 60. That I turned 60 back in October. Well, my wife turns, her birthday is on the 5th, and so we're going to be gone for a week with the kids, some of my family and stuff, and we're going to have like a family celebration for a week. Don't worry, we're going to still be live streaming Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football and everything else. So I've got to get ready to get out of here for that, so I get back to the Red Brick House and take care of some stuff there. And then we're going to have a 60 years in the building birthday party week. And as we get out of here, let's just enjoy this just a little bit.
Cowboys win 31-28. Here's Brian Schottenheimer, Dallas coach, on the win.
We're trying to honor not just Marshawn, but we're trying to honor each other with the way we prep and the way we work. And short weeks aren't easy. I mean, they're the same for everybody, but emotional game against Philadelphia, right? And you have to come back and really, without hardly any practice this week, to be able to go and do what we did today, I think is a testament to the young men in that locker room.
You're talking about two organizations that obviously know how to win, and we just beat them both in two great games, as you said, in 4 days, and just showing the resiliency of all this really does for us is just give us more confidence knowing that we can go play with whoever.
At the end of the day, you just gotta win every game now. And hope that's enough. So, we're gonna play a lot of good football teams coming up. And if we're gonna make the playoffs, we're gonna have to win them all. And that's gotta be the mindset when we step into the building when we get back.
And Damian Woody joins us now to break it all down here on Sports Center. So, Damian, the Cowboys beat the Chiefs. They've now beaten both of the teams who were in last year's Super Bowl in a 4-day span. So, what was the difference for Dallas to get another key win here?
Yeah, I think it was a couple things. Number one, Dak Prescott was absolutely spectacular in this game, and whether it was inside the pocket, showed out today against the Kansas City Chiefs. Cowboys have now scored 30-plus points at home 4 times this season after not doing it once all of last season. So on the flip side, Kansas City, they're in danger of missing the playoffs, Damian, for the first time with Mahomes as a starter.
Is that culture to have that just out there?
Of course.
People talking and spitting on your turkey leg?
First off, Greeny would never, he'd have a fork and a knife on the side of it to even hold it in his hand. I would have someone else holding it for me, but that's neither here nor there. Let's be serious for a minute here, and let's give credit in all the places that we never do with the Cowboys. Look, they started their season in ridiculous fashion. You don't trade away your best player a week before the season begins. So none of this makes up for that necessarily. I guess it's unrelated to that. But suddenly, this team seems so different from anything we have become accustomed to it being. And in the last 5 days, they just beat the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl.
Because this team, you use words like resilient and tough, right, and smart, right, and timely and clutch. All of those words go to who they are, and that's because of Brian Schottenheimer, but it's also because of their quarterback who's playing at an MVP level and ascending to the top tier, and 2 wide receivers that could be the best wide receiver on 30 different teams in the NFL. What they were able to do yesterday from start to finish defines what this game is. Trent McDuffie right now is in inside leverage on CeeDee Lamb. You're going to see CeeDee Lamb with a sail route here because on the other side of the field, the safety is doubling George Pickens and shaded to him because of last week George Pickens excelling. Now, you're going to see the safety here. He's in quarters. He's too tight to the line of scrimmage. He's also too tight to the hash. CeeDee Lamb with a double move on the outside. Easy pitch and catch for Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, who's atoning for the misses last week. Now, this is the play that everybody loved from yesterday. You're going to get a blitz. So now we know we have one-on-one with George Pickens. Once again, the safety's to the top of the screen to the bunch. He catches the football. He folds away from the safety, outruns him down the sideline, then jumps over Trent McDuffie's head. And this is the defining play of the game. Normally, this is only CeeDee Lamb. You have 3-by-1. You motion the man away from him, which makes the backers plus. And Javonte Williams moves Jaden Hicks with the swing to the flat. A wide open area for George Pickens. This is pitch and catch against most cornerbacks in the NFL. Brian Schottenheimer is continuing to find a matchup, and Dak Prescott knows exactly where and how to go with the football.
See, it's things that we say in football. If you're a defensive savant, you understand. 3-by-1 backside what?
I'm thinking inside route.
Backside slant. It's like, but it doesn't matter. You can keep it simple like that when my players are better than yours. So you talk about, hey, you want to double Pickens? Okay, CeeDee Lamb, one-on-one. These are all.
Brian
he waited his turn. He's instilled a sense of toughness and responsibility, and he was uniquely qualified to deal with this type of wide receiver room because he dealt with Braylon Edwards and Santonio Holmes. If you can deal with those 2, you can deal with anybody. Trust me.
So I think that's an interesting point that we're making here because the face of the Cowboys for as long as anyone at this point can remember, has been Jerry Jones. And what's that about? That's about a show. It's about glitz. It's about Hollywood. It's about glamour. It's about, marketing. All of a sudden, and Jerry remains, he's still the one standing there with the turkey leg, But this team doesn't feel like that anymore.
Yeah.
No. They've got stars on their helmets and on the field, but they do feel like they do the things that winning football teams do, and that's because Brian Schottenheimer, I think, has put his fingerprints on this team.
Absolutely. Everybody thought it was silly to hire Brian Schottenheimer, except Brian Schottenheimer, who felt like, I've worked for this my whole life. I'm ready for it. Watch me. You were all wrong for years. I'm going to be good at this. And that's how he's carried himself, and that's how he's worked to build that chemistry between him and his team. He's also operating at a very high level as an offensive play caller, as well as a head coach. I mean, we don't see everybody do that at that high a level. So confidence is a key word. You talk about Dak Prescott feeling looking better physically. He feels that. Like his confidence is very high as a result of how well his rehab went from last year's injury.
Man, what a week it has been for the Dallas Cowboys.
I'll leave it right there. You know, Cowboys are getting the praise right now. And it is great to see that. And I hope that it all continues. We got a short week. Well, it's not really a short week. It's still a whole week. But it will be Thursday when we have our next game. And then we get kind of a mini bye with that extra time to get together. Make no mistake about it. Every week is a playoff game. I said that from the Raiders game. I said, we're in the playoffs. We got to win every week. And we just passed, excuse me, we just passed another test. We got another one with the Lions, and Dan Gamble, who doesn't know anything about kicking the football, only going full steam ahead. And the win against the Eagles, the win against the Raiders, the win against Kansas City doesn't matter if you don't beat the Lions. As always, I appreciate you guys, and I have really and truly enjoyed all of you wonderful Eagles.
Everybody, man, I thank you, brother. Let's go to No Limit. Get back to the Eagles fans who are all fired up. Let's go to No Limit. He's not happy. No Limit.
Bro, you can,
right,
bro,
ready
you
to
can hear me?
Set some parameters for you.
Bro, you can hear. Hold on. Wait. Whoa. Before you get into the parameters, can you hear me when I say this?
I can hear you.
Fuck you, Mark Holmes. That's all I'm gonna say. Now go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I love Mark Holmes. Mark Holmes is a good
I
guy.
love him too. He a great podcaster.
No Limit.